You ready?
Ready, I think.
Yep.
I think is everybody here?
Yep.
That's officially on the board. Do we still have one opening or not?
We do have one sort of opening, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get that sort of filled.
Yes. Well, it's not quite vacant, but we are trying to figure out what to do with that
Oh,
situation.
that's Latasha.
Yeah.
That's right, I was thinking.
We have some specific things that we have to follow if someone doesn't attend so many meetings, so we have some specific steps we have to take.
Well, will you guys take care of that?
Yes, we will. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. We'll take care of it.
Okay. It'd be nice to have another city department represented. Is that?
No, it wasn't a city department. She was coming as a community member.
Oh, okay.
But she just so happened to work in a city department.
Okay, I didn't know the officialness of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can always invite the specific departments to come and talk to us, but they're usually not.
There's no
They're usually not
department,
commissioner. Yeah, it's not a requirement.
No rep, okay.
Right.
Kristen, how close do we have to be at the mic to be picked up by?
I can hear you there,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
We could hear you better
Better than?
if you were a little
closer.
closer.
Oh, okay. How about Lee?
Well,
And me?
have to
it
kinda-
looks like you guys are gonna have to share, yeah.
Yep.
How
We
about?
can share.
Sure, we do that a lot, don't we? We're in the mindful walking group, so we share strolls along the Iowa River.
So yeah, you all might want to bring it a little bit closer. There you go.
How's that?
And turn it towards you when you speak, because if not, it'll just gonna pick up the rest of the room.
Can you hear
We
me
get
now?
close this way?
There you go. Much better. Much better. It's just important for people who, while we record, they're able to hear us. It's the biggest
Okay.
thing.
How's that?
If you want mine,
want
I
yours?
don't speak for
You do sometimes.
We want yours right where you can talk into it.
Oh,
Okay, well, do we have any, does everybody, we do have an introduction because we have a new member. Mm-hmm. We met over the phone. Now I've met you before around here.
Yes.
Betty Rossi.
Ross,
Ross, okay. I didn't know if it was, how to pronounce your last name, okay?
just Ross.
Just Ross, okay. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, get close to the mic.
Well, I can project. I think you can all hear me.
The mic is for recording because they're all recorded, so that's why we have to use the microphones for the public. Yeah, so the public can can hear.
I wanted to be of more use. I wanted to be of service to my group of seniors. And I'm here. And I don't know what I'm doing or going to do, but I'm sure you'll tell me, and I will do it.
We try to keep it simple. We try to keep it simple.
It's, we, at Ecumenical Tower, there are 80-some of us, but very few people use the services of this group. And one of my goals, my own goals, is to try to get more people from the tower to take advantage of the wonderful opportunities that the Senior Center offers. And I'll take any ideas you got. I'll
Great.
steal anything.
Oh, okay.
Just lay out an idea and I'll go with it.
That's great. I concur that it would be nice to have more of them, and it's right next door. And maybe we
Absolutely.
can get that on our agenda one of these months and invite, I don't know, their director, or what do they have over there? Do they have a manager or
Yes.
a rec manager or
Yes.
anything?
And what would Jada be called?
Coordinator. Jada.
She's a coordinator.
Yeah.
And Faith is a manager.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's a nonprofit corporation, is that correct?
Supposedly.
Yeah. Do we have to go back to the?
Wasn't very enthusiastic.
So, Jay, you haven't officially started the meeting, so,
Let's start the meeting.
yeah, thanks.
Call the meeting to order.
Thank you.
And let the minutes reflect that Betty introduced herself. and we started a topic about the ecumenical towers.
Okay. And that can roll into commission discussion later.
Okay.
Okay.
Minutes from February. Hopefully, everybody had a chance to read them. Does anybody have any corrections? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't hear anybody opposed. Okay, public discussion for items not on the agenda. Don't have any members of the public here. I'm curious, and I've only been around a year or so. How often does that happen?
Not very often, unless we have something controversial.
Oh, there's 2 people there.
Their agenda.
They're on the agenda as speakers.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't see them. Welcome, welcome to our guest. Okay, it's time for that, I guess. Exterior project update. Is it Ben Clark? And friend?
Ben, do you want to use my microphone over here? You can come over here.
I'm like, oops. Come on over. I'll scooch this way. You can. Oh, here. No, I'll move. You sure? Because I can move. Whoops.
I just stepped off a construction site, so I might smell a little.
Want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm Ben Clark. I work in the engineering division, and this is Sean Bradbury, who also works in the engineering division. So I've been kind of handling the office end of things for the exterior project, and Sean handles the field operations here. So I don't really have much to present to you other than I'm sure you're all aware of the project.
Yeah, we just would.
What is that project?
Well, so this is actually the first of 2 projects to fix up the exterior of the building. So we noticed that, we had a study done a couple years back, and they noticed that sort of the top parapets of the building were leaning outward, and there needed to be quite a bit of tuck pointing done and just kind of fixing up the exterior stone of the building. So the first project is to rebuild sort of the top edge of the building and then remortar a lot of the joints and replace some of the cracked stone on the building, make it watertight and weatherproof. And then the next phase will be to replace the windows and doors.
Can you go into the leaning outward part a little more? How much of a lean was it, and how did you structurally deal with that?
Yeah, so we hired a consultant. His name was Peter Franks from Franks Design Group. He specializes in historic structures, and he did an assessment on the building. I believe they measured the lean at about 5 degrees.
How long will that tuck pointing last?
Well, so the good news is they're probably going to be, I don't want to jinx things here, but they'll probably be sort of moving out here towards the end of May. So they've had pretty good weather. It's helped them out quite a bit, and they've got a good crew.
So the leaning part is taken care of?
Correct,
And
yes.
the tuck pointing is
I don't think that was
nearing
what you
completion?
Correct.
I'll
Yeah.
correct it. So
And then,
once the tuck pointing is done, what's the expected life of the tuck pointing?
Oh, I don't know. What do they say, Sean? 25, 30 years, maybe?
So, funnily enough, it depends on the exposure of the building as to how long it lasts. Depends on whether it's sunshade, whether it's saturated throughout the winter. Sometimes you can get 30 years out of it. The problem with the actual leaning out on the balustrade and the parapet wall was a problem that they had where they were super saturated in the back and the pointing hadn't been touched up, and so water was getting in those joints, and it was a common brick behind there, so the bricks were sucking the moisture in. So someone came along and repointed that back, and basically the brick itself was expanding and contracting with the moisture in it. So that failed really quickly. The water table joints, the horizontal ones on there, should probably be looked at, once a year with the annual inspection and anything picked up on there. But in general, tuck pointing does last 25 to 30 years. That's not to say that in all instances it will. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
I think the building was built in 1907, and I'm not sure how many times it's been...
1904.
1904. Are you sure it didn't take 3 years for the construction?
Possibly.
I got the wrong building. I'll move on down. Thank you.
I think the one down the road is 1907.
Yeah, but I don't know when it was last pointed. Perhaps you guys do.
I think it was about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about the window replacement. Because the building is architecturally and historically significant, how will you manage to keep that in view when you're replacing the windows?
Yeah, so they will remain, we'll have to get a certificate from the historic preservation, so you probably won't even notice the difference, but as far as the windows, they'll look similar, but they'll leave like any of the wood that's on there right now, they'll strip that down and repaint it, so that will remain. But you won't notice any difference.
Okay, thank you.
So the main reason why we asked you guys to come is because not only that we're curious, but we get a lot of questions from people, or what's going on out there, and so the real bottom line of why we wanted you guys to come was what can we tell people that are just in the course of our involvements in our classes and activities and things like that, what's going on out there. So what's the best, what do you think is the best 25-word answer to that?
Well, they're just sort of repairing and rehabilitating the exterior shell of the building, just to make it last, keep the building in good shape.
And then if people want to go more into depth, how much of this, what you told us, is okay to go into, or what shouldn't we say, or
you can say anything. And actually, we have a report that we could certainly share with you guys that kind of talks about the overall condition of the building and the recommendations, which we're actually implementing right now.
Okay, and if we wanted to read that report, is that filed on the city website?
It's on the website already. Yeah, if you go into the senior
center website. Okay, it's part of the plan for exterior renovation.
Yes.
I think another way of answering your question is there's nothing that we're doing that is any different than any other historic building of significance that people want to maintain. This is generally considered an exterior envelope scheme where you just work on one piece at a time. Right now we've got the masons working on the masonry. Windows will come, and then at some point roof, perhaps HVAC, grounds. I don't know what your capital plan is, but I mean, this is pretty typical work that you see on most buildings.
So underpinning that is, I guess, we can be proud that it is a historical building and that it's being taken good care of.
You almost scared me then when you said underpinning, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm from
Poor choice
England,
of words.
so the first thing that we'd do is take the wall down, underpin it, and then come back up.
Okay.
So yeah, that's,
I just meant culturally speaking, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, and one thing you'll notice too is they are washing the exterior of the building, so they're getting some of that staining off. So it should look pretty nice when it's done.
So
Sure is getting shiny out there.
Another thing to be proud of, and maybe to attract people.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
If you go to the Senior Center webpage on the City of Iowa City website, in the upper left-hand corner, it says Senior Center Facilities Plan. If you click on that, there's the whole kit and caboodle of all the things, all the studies that were done and presentations. So you can view it all there.
Yeah, I know I've gone there and looked. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've gone and looked at it. So, good work, you guys. I mean, that's we want to broadcast that as much as possible too. That we have a highly qualified crew and leaders and all that sort of thing.
Go ahead, Betty.
This building used to have a lot of beautiful plants around it that are all gone. Cut down, sawed off, dug up. Are they going to be replaced with mature plants and trees?
Yeah, so we worked with Tyler Baird from the Parks Department, and he recommended tearing out all of the yew trees, which were the ones that got cut down, and then we saved some of the better trees around. I think there are a couple out on the northwest corner and then the southwest corner. And then the plan is once we get the window project done, they'll come in and do a landscaping project.
With mature plants?
I don't know what kind of plants they'll put in at this point, but it'll be nice.
And flowers out back?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the plan yet, but there are plans to, replace the landscaping.
I know that Tyler Baird is the city forester, right, in addition to being Parks and Rec director or something. So I think he knows his stuff. That could be an encouraging sign, and we'll get some good, hopefully native, hopefully hardy things in there.
Yeah, I think he enjoys putting together those plans, actually. So.
Okay, anybody else have questions? Those are the three main points, I guess, that you covered, the leaning, the tuck pointing, the windows and doors. Anything else that's subsequent to that?
No, I think it's a pretty straightforward project, and I just want to thank everybody for their patience. I know it's kind of noisy and kind of disturbs the building, but it should be done soon.
Oftentimes, I think I'm at the dentist's office or something, when stuff's going on. But that's a fact of life, too, I guess.
It's temporary.
And I think, Latasha, you had mentioned that maybe the center would close temporarily here and there when the windows are being done. So
Yeah.
just so you know that, keep track of the social media and the news blurbs.
We would know that. We would know that well in advance.
Ahead of time before you stop by.
We would know that well in advance about when that would happen. And it may be just closing a floor. We're not sure. Now, if they can come in and do all of them in one day, that'd be fantastic, but I doubt that's the case. So, we will make sure we schedule around that, and we'll work really closely with whoever is helping us do that. So we'll keep everybody informed.
Yeah, and you do a good job of emails and stuff, too.
Yeah, we'll make sure everyone knows.
I have a question. Maybe it's not for you, but it's for what might be related to all of this is the HVAC. Where does that fit into? Is it exterior, interior, a little bit of both? Or I know we have issues in the building with uneven temperatures, and sometimes it's hotter than Hades in one room and colder than Hades in another room, Who addresses that situation?
So that would be an interior project, and we did look at that, and I think it's probably in some of the documents that you mentioned. There's energy. We kind of looked at the overall energy use of the building, and they made some recommendations. Probably it's going to come down to budget, and I think that's still maybe a couple years off before we take a look at some of those
25,
things.
26.
25, 26, yes.
I know the city climate action plan calls for, energy efficient units as much as possible, and hopefully, and maybe we can advocate for that as a board, that the city consider whatever, like a heat pump or something that will add this building to the list of buildings and city buildings that are already doing those sorts of things.
Yeah, it was a part of the initial, when we first started pulling plans and getting a study on the building, it was a requirement of the RFP for them to address the need for us to reduce our footprint and for us to reduce energy usage. So that is already a part of the plan. So we do have some options there when we get to the interior part of, right now it was more about tuck pointing the outside, keeping the water out, keeping that part, and then we can work on the interior parts of the building.
Yeah, and kind of with that, once we get done with the window project, then we'll have a better idea what the remaining budget will look like.
And will you guys be also involved in that project? Or will it be a different entity or?
Maybe, probably.
Yeah. I mean, they work for the city, so they're in the engineer department. Now, if the folks are outside that are contracted, we don't know if it'll be them or not. It'll be a bidding process.
Okay. Well, thanks for humoring my questions and our questions. Does anybody else have questions, comments?
I just want to say on behalf of the contractor, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to work with people that want the project to succeed, and it's been great working with you. I know that we've put you this way and that way. It adds to the economy and speed of construction. So, it's been really great working with the contractor and you guys to get this done as soon as we can. And it's a surprise that we're this far along this early in the season. So, thank you.
We'll take it.
And as representatives of the users of the building, we're grateful for the work you guys are doing and, the opportunities we get to see each other in the halls every now and then and see you climbing the outside walls every now and then. So thank you very much.
It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Turn it over to Latasha for the overview.
Programming update. As you all see, the new program is out for March and April. We are currently, right now, Michelle and others are pulling together the May, June. So we have to do these things months in advance, so they're working on those. But as you see, we are full up with lots of wonderful things that are happening in the building, lots of small things. As you all saw, we got a new countertop in the lobby. I don't know if you haven't noticed, we did get a new one and a new sink to help us when we are making coffee and other things like that. We have some really great rentals, so some folks who are coming to rent the building. So we're excited about some of the folks coming into the building. As you all know, this is a polling place, so there's lots of voting and stuff that will be happening this year. So we want to make sure that we're ready. We were able to purchase a new piano, as you can see over here. So that was purchased by Friends of the Senior Center for folks who have donated over the years and time. And we're able to have a great deal with West Music and got that all delivered, and it's all looking good and should last us for quite some time. And we'll be working with some other folks to purchase our other one because it takes up a lot more landscape than the smaller one. So we're excited, and they got to get some usage out of it today. So it sounds really good, and people are excited about that. As for the facility, as you see the pictures around you, these pictures have been provided to the Senior Center as part of an art show, but the proceeds from every picture goes directly to the Senior Center for our operations. So if you know folks who are into art, tell them to come on down. The same artist, Sherry Davis, has provided us all the proceeds, and the show is on this floor as well as on the third floor when you come in. So that's a great way for us to have some extra dollars in our budget by people purchasing some of these great pictures. I believe if it has a green dot, that means it's already sold. If it doesn't, that means it's still available. So some of
That
them.
is a ton of art that was donated.
It was. It's a lot of wonderful art donated, and it's so helpful for us, and quite a few of them are selling, so we're excited about that. And we'll put something out probably in a month or so, especially in March during Older Americans Month, to really kind of encourage people to come out and check it out. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything in particular? I know that we will have in May, I think the first Friday in May, we will probably be closed because we will be doing an in-service here, specifically pulling together to do a marketing strategic plan with a local marketing company to find out through some research about better ways in which we can get out what's happening in our building out to the community to bring more people in, as well as a better way to tell our story here at the Senior Center about what we're doing. So we're really excited about that. So I believe maybe it's May 3rd, whatever that Friday is. I think it's the first Friday of May. I can't remember if it's the 3rd or the 2nd, but so that's happening. And I don't.
Appreciation event.
Oh, appreciation. How could I forget that? Listen, you do not want to miss this. And we want all our commissioners there. April 23rd. Mark your calendars from 4 to 6. We are going to have food trucks from tacos to nachos to Jamaican food to ice cream out at Terry Trueblood from 4 to 6 p.m. So go ahead, get your ride set up, or drive, or ride your bike, or however you're going to get there. And come on out. We will make sure that you all bring your name tags. Do they have name tags?
Yes, they handed them.
Okay, perfect. Bring your name tag so that people can know you and get to know you and talk to you. So we will have all of our donors and different supporters, members, and volunteers. It's an appreciation party. So we're going to have music, food, and folks. Food, folks, and fun. That's what I always say. I stole that from McDonald's, but every time we playing something, food, folks, and fun. That's always my thing. Do we got food? What's the food looking like? Who's coming? And so we always make sure we have an entertainment element as well. There's a very small program, usually a couple of thank yous, but most of that time is for social interaction and just really saying thanks to folks. We give out some nice little gifts, so come get you a gift or help us volunteer and pass some out and take some with you. So looking forward to that. Do we have a upcoming luncheon yet? Did we get a date yet for the welcome lunch? Okay, but soon we will also have a date that we can provide to you all for new members. So new members, we usually do a lunch where we can welcome folks. We'll let you all know that date because we would love for you to come welcome new members to Senior Center. Yes.
So many of us at Ecumenical Tower do not have cars or transport.
Okay.
Does the Senior Center have any funds or grants or anything for us, like a minibus or a small school bus of some sort that could carry the people from here to Terry Trueblood?
Well, I think if they are Senior Center members and you get a list together for me of Senior Center members who want to come out to the event, sure, let me know and we'll try to see what we can do.
Really?
We'll try to see, but they have to be members. They have to be members because that's different, right? Because we have paperwork for stuff like that. I will try to see what I can do. I don't want to make any promises, but we'll see what we can, because also it could just be a bus ride because the bus drops people off right at Terry Trueblood. So you don't even technically need, but I understand. It's literally a bus that comes here on the corner that takes you to Terry Trueblood.
South Gilbert.
Yeah.
South Gilbert bus.
Yeah, it goes straight to Terry Trueblood. So some people have that's what other people have done. They've just rode the bus or they've.
South what?
Gilbert. So that, Gilbert straight out here.
Yeah.
South Gilbert bus.
I think that's
Yeah,
the
the
name
city
of it.
bus, it says South Gilbert on it, yeah. Mhm.
And it goes to Terry
It
Trueblood
drops you off right in front of Terry Trueblood.
at that time of night, from 4 to 6.
Every
Yep. It's every day.
half hour and.
Well, not every day. Well, except Sunday. Monday through Saturday.
Oh,
The buses are free.
Free, yeah.
what day of the week is
I
that?
think that's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course the buses are free, so it just takes you right there. It's just, we took that space because it's a little bigger, because we have a bigger crowd, and it's nice out, and so people can enjoy the patio and the pond and that kind of thing. So, yep, there is, it may be that we get the transportation person to come and get everybody to get on the bus and come over there, because it'll be free, but we can figure something out. But just let me know if there's a list of folks, and we'll try to see what we can do to support that for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun party. I've been the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's fun. It's lots of fun. Did you have a question?
And the piano sounds great. I heard somebody playing it
Yes.
back here yesterday afternoon.
It's lovely. It's been a nice ad. It's been a nice ad from friends. So
And
just
the
letting people know
programs.
those donations go to work, because pianos are not inexpensive.
And the programs are great this time around. They're always pretty good, always excellent, so.
Great. So
Thanks
that's
for
all I really have on my end. Unless people have specific questions, that was my quick update.
There's something here that says City Council Connection.
Oh, I think that might be left over from a previous,
Yeah, we
but we
talked
just
about that
specifically talked about that, last year, not last year, sorry. We're in March already, last month, about that.
Okay, commission discussion. Any discussion about the master plan? I know we've had quite a bit of it so far already, but any other concerns about exterior, interior, the new things that are coming? Okay, and we
So
have,
I just did want to mention that the City of Iowa City does publish their full budget. So if you were curious on what they have set aside for the phased projects over the next couple of years, that's typically in their 5-year capital improvement projects plan, which is published online. And then their budget, which the senior center is a chapter of that. It's a very long document. You can see kind of where the money is coming from and where it's being pulled from to pay for each phase of this project, which is typically a phase happens in a year, so that we can split the cost between different years. So if you're curious about next year's project or HVAC money that's set aside or kitchen money for other phases.
Just let us, and you can always email me if you have a specific question, too.
and it's icgov.org, right?
/senior, yep.
/senior.
Yep.
So if you don't know what the website is. The vacant lot across the street, 21 South Lynn, I know they're going to have some open comment. I printed something, and didn't you send out a link
Yep.
for us to look at? I don't know what I did with that, but anyway, they're wanting to do a mixed-use development of some kind. Who knows what that might be, but you can look at the link that Kristen sent out, and do they have a date yet for the
Not that I
public comment?
saw, no, but they will have a date, and if, be a part of that discussion for sure, and go and listen and ask questions, for sure.
Where do they typically hold those things?
They kind of have them all over. If they're trying to get a lot of community involvement, they're kind of strategic about how they do that. So they might use the senior center even, given that it's across the street, so they may even have one of those here. It makes sense that they would, but I'm not guaranteeing that they are. But a lot of times they use other city facilities like Terry Trueblood, or they might use Robert Lee or Mercer, or, some of the other places where people can come together and they can organize it, or the library. So when they find those, we'll make sure we send the link to you all so that you can participate in those discussions and bring up that you're a senior center commissioner and you're interested in what that's going to be used for, and however you want to take it to them. You have the right as community members to weigh in. So when we have those dates, we'll give them to you for sure.
Their
Pass this
website.
around if anybody wants to look at it.
Yeah, the website says that they'll be doing all the public engagement between now and the end of May 2024. So it's coming up.
Okay. Anybody have questions or comments about that?
Only it would be
yeah.
helpful if we had, shall we say, a specific call from the seniors here to say, hey, please submit your recommendations and your desires.
We could do that. We could send out, have it be a part of the weekly emails or something like that.
Oh, to see if people want to send in feedback?
Yeah.
Sure, or, yeah, we can figure something out, sure.
And
And then that way
publicize.
we can send it to you all and you all can pull it together. We can we'll figure something out.
And we can publicize
Would
the
help
date for the
create
meeting.
awareness also.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I was saying, because if you go to those discussions, that's where they will pull notes. So that'll be great. But if we also want to send something to city council or send something to the folks that are pulling that together, to the firm they're probably working with a firm to get public input, then we could always write a letter with recommendations or suggestions as well.
Should we preemptively put that on the agenda for next month, a letter?
Sure. Sure.
Okay, sure. I did notice on the thing there that we're part of the downtown and riverfront crossings development plan. And Lee and I don't know if any of the rest of you have stumbled on that riverfront crossings park. We walked over there after the
Oh, okay.
supervisors meeting. It's just a block away from there, and it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
There's lots of neat stuff there for kids and places to walk around, and
Yeah.
you follow the end of the Ralston Creek, and they've done a good job with that. So
Yeah.
The riverfront crossing connects to Terry Duplex.
Yep. Yep. If
But
you
there's a
keep
path,
walking that
yeah.
path, yep.
It was unexpectedly exciting for me to see it because I had no idea that was all there.
it's like in the middle of a bunch of traffic, really.
Yeah.
The
Underneath,
playground.
right? Underneath.
Possibility of having a beaver there.
Yeah,
We couldn't tell for sure, but it seemed like there was a beaver around there.
evidence. Okay, all right. Policy review. We've got several policies. The changes are minimal in terms of what changes are up for review. Mostly it's changing the center to senior center. Used to be called the center, now it's called the senior center. And then other items have to do with the night and weekend hours. I don't think there's anything really substantial there. I think that we could just approve these policies as a bundle unless anybody's, had the opportunity to read them in more. I read through them once. I didn't see anything that I thought warranted discussion, but if anybody else did, now is the time to speak up.
Nancy sent me an email. I just want to address a couple of other things. She just had a couple of them. So on the personnel one, she was specifically asking why we leave off the custodian, so I wanted to clear that up. The reason why the custodians are not on our list of personnel is because the custodians are under our facility management. So that's why sometimes you see different custodians from other buildings here, so they all cover for each other at all the buildings. It used to be a time where the custodians, we had our own custodians here that were specifically supervised by the senior center coordinator. But when I started my position 6 years ago, they changed that up so that it could be more universal for all the facility folks to be trained on all the buildings. So if someone's out or on vacation, we would have more folks be able to rotate in. So that's why we still, out of our budget, we still pay for 2 custodians because we need 2 custodians here to keep up with the building, but they are overall they're under Parks and Rec, but under the facilities management. So that's why you don't specifically see them in here. But they do work here. I just don't supervise them, which is fine by me because that's less people I have to supervise. So that's why that's not in there. Another comment that she made was that the commission advises the coordinator of the senior center, and that is true. I'm able to bring things to you all, and you all can provide me advice. You all are not my supervisors, but that is kind of the role of the commission to say, these are things we're concerned with, or, like specifically looking at policies, like, our advice is that you change the language in that. So that's okay too. I won't go through all of them because I know some of them were just kind of directly with me, but just also being really clear that anytime we're saying specifically the senior center, that a lot of these policies, if you look in the administration of them, they will specifically say the senior center coordinator or designee is responsible for administering the policies of the senior center. So even though it might say, to city council, at the end of the day, I am the staff or my designee is responsible for these policies to be implemented. So just want to be really clear about that. And then one last note was in the senior center technology and video. One of her comments specifically was talking more about should something be in there about learning and the social benefits of the participants utilizing SCTV. And what I would clarify is that is a part of the procedures part and not necessarily of the policy. So a couple of years ago, we pulled the policies and procedures apart. So a part of the procedures of how we use senior center television would be for fun, for connection, for learning. And so you wouldn't necessarily specifically see that in this language. It's just kind of talking more about the generalities of how it's used. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's all. And when it comes to the inclement weather, the buildings are always open under the facilities, folks. So even if we close our programs, the building remains open because we are a part of the City of Iowa City's winter, how do we say that? Like winter spaces, like warming stations. We're like a warming station. So like the library, the rec centers, even if we shut down our programs because we don't want people to come into the building because of their program and they can stay home. But other folks, if we have any of our transitional folks or our unhoused folks, we still want them to have a safe place out of the weather. So our business hours remain open, but our programs are closed.
I don't understand. I take it the staff has a snow day too?
Oh, no, the staff, we don't get snow days.
Oh.
No. Mm-mm. Even if it's a blizzard, we still are here.
Make sure there's no destruction of building.
Yeah, if the only reason why I would close is if all the staff is snowed in, and then I just have to make that decision with the city manager that we have to shut the whole building down. But for the most part, and that's maybe happened once since I've been here, we rarely ever do that because we are required to be open during weather to be a safe place for folks to go for weather-related incidents. So yeah, we don't close. We just cancel programs unless it's online. If it's an online class, those classes go on. But if it's an in-person class, then we cancel those because we follow as a part of the policy, we follow the school district. If the school district deems it not safe for folks to travel and get their kids, we also do not want our older adults to travel to come to the building if possible for a program just for safety purposes. There's less people on the road in bad weather, so we just follow that policy. But the staff, nobody really cares about us. We'll be here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we will be here. I mean, some people can't if they can't get here, but for the most part, we might have, scaled back staff, but we will be here to be open for folks who need a place to go in that type of weather.
Any other policy questions? Nancy?
Yes.
Oh, Lee?
So I didn't mean to
I just
yell
thought
into
you
your
might have
ear.
another one. But Lee spoke up, so we'll take you after Lee, I guess.
I read in the paper that one of the governor's policy changes would be to eliminate gender equality on boards and commissions. Did any of you see that?
Well, possibly.
Not that it's a done deal, but
What I would say is, there is a law that says that we should do that. I think as a commission, as a community, we could still highly recommend and suggest that when we have these specific boards and commissions, that we try to have more gender equality, if that makes sense.
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
But
so
won't be
if
legally
that
required.
happens, just like anything, we can still have our own suggested procedures on how we do it. We can't force it into law as a practice. We can't mandate it, but we can highly recommend. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You got a wordsmith. You got a wordsmith.
We can be thankful that we're gender balanced right now, 3 and 3, right?
That's true. That's true.
Nancy, did you have something else?
No.
The only other thing I would say is the one that we should probably really read closely is the volunteer policy, because we're volunteers here. And, we hopefully know what we're doing and what we should be doing, but it doesn't hurt to review those things.
You have a question, Betty?
Wanted to ask you, when somebody, if I say the bus goes to Cherry Trueblood, and I say, well, what's going on there? Why are we going there? What's happening? What specifically can I say?
So it's an appreciation party for all the members of the senior center. Thanks for being part of the family. There's good food. You get tickets and you can go get a taco or I
And
forget
it's
what
free?
they are.
It's free.
Quesadilla,
The food is free.
Oh, yeah, the food is free, yes.
Jamaican chicken jerk, whatever.
And I think it's volunteers
That's the senior
and
center.
members.
Yep.
Right.
So anybody who has volunteered in the last year, a member in the last year, as well as a donor in the last year, are all welcome to attend the appreciation party.
They need to register.
And they need to register so we can keep track, so we can let the food trucks know how much food to make.
And where do they do that?
Oh, it's just, they can just call the front desk.
Okay.
Or there is a link. But we also will be sending out, I just saw the postcards today, we'll be sending out postcards. We're just letting you all know it, but you can also see the information on the televisions. It's already up on the televisions in the hallway, but we will be mailing out the postcards to all the members, volunteers, and folks. So they'll get it in the mail if they're connected.
Sometimes it's at the point of registration that I ask people if they have transportation needs. So maybe that would be a question to just add. Then you don't have to do any work. You can, verify somebody is a member, ask them if they need help planning for transportation, so not necessarily providing, but saying, then you can send them something about the bus routes to get there, or,
Yeah, I'll send we can send a note to Emily, who's pulling that together, to specifically try to include that in the bit.ly that we have put out. So yeah, you will get that in the mail. So if they're members or anything, they will get that in the mail. So they'll have more information.
And as far as the membership question, we do have a limited income. I know Ecumenical Towers, a number of those people are on limited income, so it's a $10
Yep.
a year membership fee, the reduced fee. So I would encourage people to take advantage
Members.
of that, try it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the policy changes. Anybody?
I move to approve the following policies as listed in the agenda item under policy review.
I second.
Warren? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I don't think so. Okay. We're done with that one. Commissioner's report of community correspondence. What have you heard from people? Anybody?
I do, sorry, Lee, you sounded like you were going first. I just want to mention that I thought the Board of Supervisors meeting presentation went really well, and I thank everybody who was in attendance for showing up and being supportive of Latasha and I as we went way over time for the presentation. But it's important for as the county representative on this group, myself from the city of Oxford, it's important for us to visit with the board and let them know what their donation to the senior center is doing as far as seniors outside of the bounds of city of Iowa City. So it's, thank you so much for coming.
So they invited us, and that's what they got.
Yes, they get a report. Yes, every
Them to invite us.
every year. It's written in the contract that we have to do it. So it's not like we can just choose not to, but we do have to kind of go back and tell them what they got for their money that they provide to the senior center. So
We had some good questions and things too,
Yeah.
from the supervisors.
yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't see, was there any pushback later about the going
I
overtime?
don't
or
think
anything?
so.
I didn't hear anything. So
So maybe we'll try to hold ourselves back a little bit next year, but
Maybe, maybe not.
maybe not.
the hope is that they, give us more money next year.
Hey, you never know.
Because they see the wonderful
Right.
things we're doing for their county their county older adults, and we can do more with more money.
True.
I'm a firm believer in if you develop relationships, I mean, if you tell them about you and you get them to share a little bit about what their passions are or their objectives or whatever, then we're strengthening the bond and maybe helping to grow the city, shall we say, grow the county. It was a county, wasn't it? Yeah.
Collaboration's very important. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any others? Any other reports of, have you gotten letters? Have you gotten comments? Have you gotten people say, we really need this or that?
No, at the senior singles breakfast this morning, I said, there's a commission meeting this afternoon. Does anybody have anything they want me to bring forward? Nobody said anything. So
Well, thank you for doing that
Your
for us,
job.
Lee.
I tried.
Yeah. Okay. Future agenda items. Anybody? I've got one, and it's sort of allied to the Appreciation Day, but I wonder we have such a great staff here. What do we do for staff recognition, or is there anything special that we could sponsor and host, or just to let them know that we appreciate them and that they do a great bang-up job, and what could we do to help show that?
I mean, I always tell people it's always nice when people send notes to city council members about the work that we're doing here, because they do send that back to us saying, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. When we went to night and weekend hours, a lot of people wrote letters to city council and they corresponded back to me saying thank you. And so that's always good. And then I share that with staff, directly, or if it's a specific staff person, you can let me know and I can do that. You can always buy people cards. Some people will just mail us cards and we hang it up for staff to know that. Sometimes if we get a card out of the front desk, people will make a copy and they send it all to us so that we know that. It's nice to get those sometimes because you're like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, anybody appreciate the work we doing? So I think those are, simple ways. It's not that we need anything purchased or anything, just those thank yous go a long way. We get paid to do this work, but we do it with heart, and so it is nice to get those thank yous. So however that may show up, we don't need a party. I'm always down to party, but I don't need one myself, you understand?
And we don't want to create more work for you either.
Right, because see, y'all throw a
So,
party in the
yeah.
building, and we have to clean up afterwards.
So whatever
It would
you
have
do,
to be
Jay.
initiated
Yeah.
Leaded by us, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
I know that this is an aside, but I went this morning to Davenport. I'm involved with a Citizens Climate Lobby group, and we visited Representative Miller Meeks's office over in Davenport, and just to talk to their staff members about some of our priorities to help reduce carbon emissions. But we took a card that was made by a 7-year-old daughter of one of our members, and she baked cookies. She baked like a big plate of chocolate chip cookies, and we took those over there, and their eyes were on them the whole time, I think. But just those little things. So if anybody wants to bake cookies or whatever too, I'm sure that that they might turn them down, but they might take them home to their spouses or whatever.
You never know.
Yeah.
Snacks disappear here. When we magically put them in the break room, they don't seem to remain. So I'm assuming someone's eating them. So someone's very thankful, because anytime we put something down there and then we say, oh, there's snacks in the break room, somehow they disappear. So, but we do also from the city will bring over donuts, or they'll bring over some kind of staff appreciation cookies or something too. So we get some thanks.
Or maybe just a kind word.
You know, a kind word goes a long ways, because sometimes we deal with some tough things that we keep out of, obviously, public view that we deal with, and we get sad news sometimes, and so it's always nice to have some folks come by and say hello, because, you know, we have to kind of deal with that and then be public facing. So, however, we appreciate it.
So let me be the first today to give kind words to you two for all the hard work that you do, and for
Oh, I mean, we are working so hard with this group, I'm
putting
telling
up
you.
with us. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
One thing I note about next meeting is not March 21st. So what is the date? That's that needed to be
I think it's the
changed.
20th. No, it is the 21st. No, it's the 20th.
Of April.
This isn't coming up for me.
Oh, you're right. It's not March 21st. You're right. I think it's April 20th.
Okay.
It's April 18th. It's April 18th, sorry.
Okay. So just for,
Yes, April 18th. Yep, that's a slip up there.
make a mental note or a physical note on your,
But we will send it out. We will send it out as a
it's
reminder.
always the third Thursday.
Yeah. We will send it out.
Okay, there being no more business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Sure.
I'll second it, so acclaimed, I would say.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming.